I didn't see you there. This time it's for more practice. This video is more practice for me because I'm gonna do a presentation explaining how to remove an element from an array list. Well then, now that I explain what I'm going to do, let's just start my speech for it. Good morning. Today I'm going to teach you how to remove an element from an array list. Has this ever happened to you when you go grocery shopping and you make a list, but then you made a typo and you need to erase it, but then you don't have the eraser? Probably not because you have a cell phone with you. Well, and you can already do that manually. Well, what about if I told you can create your own program and make your own list digitally and erase them whenever you want? Well then, we could do this with just three simple steps. First, I'm gonna teach you how to make the setup. Secondly, we are going to make a method for it for the remove. And third, I'm gonna explain the for loop. Those are the most hardest and easy ways you can separate all of this. Well then, let's get started. Firstly, you want to import the Java libraries. It means that we get we don't it means that we can use the array list, meaning that we don't have to use more methods. It already has built in stuff. And we have to create our class because without that then Java wouldn't work properly. So now that we have all of this done, secondly we create the erase method. The erase method will receive an array list and then it will update it to the latest remove that we've done. So that means we don't have to return anything. It will just be a void. So we can just start with public static void. Static because it means we can use it inside the class. So and void, and then we can call it whatever, remove even, and then it's gonna take an array list. And then we're gonna call it integer. You might say, why'd you put it integer? Because, well, it's gonna store numbers. So the data type for that is gonna be an integer. And since this class is object-oriented programming, it's gonna be with the full name and uppercase letters. Now that we have that, we can start with, of course, in this part, we gotta pay attention in this one. This one is the for loop. There's a problem. The for loops, it skips elements sometimes. So yeah, you gotta make a workaround. But I already found one, so I can just teach it to you. I'm gonna go for int I equals to 0. That means the index is 0. So what is an index, you may ask? Well, we're just gonna go with, we're gonna use the index to enter the list and go through every element. So that means we have to get the size of the I is gotta be less than the size of the list so we can enter it. And then this part, we're gonna leave it like that. Because that's a trick for the for loops, you can just leave stuff like that. And then now we're gonna use if. If is, it's like a cause and effect. If this happens, then that will happen. So if L dot get I, that means we're getting the element, modulo, I think that's what it called, 2 equals to 0, then that means we're getting all even numbers. Now we want to remove those, so we're just gonna go dot remove I, and there we go. Just the same as get. I mean, it's the built-in, so it already brings all that, so it makes our life easier. And this one else, and then our else is gonna be our incremental, just to not skip stuff. So that else will just wait until we remove it, and then it will move properly. Now there we go. We have it basically done, but we still haven't yet finished it because finally, but not least, we need to create our static, our public static void main. We need to create our main and string and args. This is like a magic word you always have to write so you can get systems input and outputs and whatever you want to get. So now in this part, we're going to create the array list and then call our remove method to remove the events, and then we're going to get our output. To do that, we're going to have to do an array list. So array list, again, it's going to be integer l new array list. Then we just do the same, but this time everything empty, and then we go, you got an empty array list. Then l dot add one, and then l dot add two. There we go, we have it. Now we're gonna call the remove even, and then put our l inside, and then we're gonna, now that we have removed our even, now we're gonna call the system output dot out dot print ln and l. And there we go. That's how you do it. That's how you remove. In conclusion, programming, it's about practicing. With enough practice, I encourage you to practice this because this is fundamental for Java, and knowing this will help you in the long run. Thanks for listening. Well, yeah, that's about it, pretty much. I don't think I'm ready, but I also gotta make a video on how to do it. So, yeah, I hope you actually learned something from this. Let's just hope I'm ready for it. I think I did a 7 out of 10, honestly. I also need to maintain the eye contact too. Well, yeah, but at least I hope you actually learned something and have a wonderful day.